we decided we'd take the things, that furniture with us that's important, and not take other things along. But most trailers to pull furniture across the country are small. So I hired somebody to take a Plymouth chassis and cut the axle in half and make it wider.
Oh, okay.
And then we built a steel frame around that and pockets to hold the stakes, and built a large trailer that carried most everything I wanted to take.
Okay.
It was an interesting episode, I think, because when we pulled out of Milwaukee, I still remember my father-in-law standing on the porch, just kind of shaking his head no, like, this guy's crazy. He's taken my only daughter, my grandchild, my daughter's also pregnant with this next baby, to a city he has never been to before, to a place where he has no job waiting for him, and limited amount of money. And he's taken all that and going down the street. Those days they didn't have air shocks, so the car was really low in the back and the trailer was really low in the front.
Wow.
And I probably had to be a little bit crazy to do what I did, but I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what my long-term objectives were, and I'm a very determined person to accomplish my goals. I think everything out thoroughly before I take an action on something. I might study a stock, for example, 6 months to a year before you even buy the first share.
Okay.
So we went over the mountains, and the car got 20 miles per gallon without a trailer, so I figured we'd get about 12 miles. Well, we got 9 miles per gallon. Got as far as Sinclair, Wyoming, and ran out of money on a Friday afternoon. Well, no sense calling my father-in-law because he didn't have any money to speak of. And so I had savings in First Wisconsin Bank. We wired the bank, and they wired some money to us. Enough funds to get us the rest of the way into California.
Wow. So saving that money ahead of time, like you talked about,
Yeah, the bank was kind
made a
enough.
big difference.
If they hadn't sent me that money, Western Union, I
Sure.
probably wouldn't be in California today.
So that was a big move then. Coming
Right.
to California was a huge.
So pulling that trailer with a big square front on it is like a billboard going down a highway with a little 6-cylinder Plymouth car. And it had to be pretty dumb to do what I was doing, but I'm a very determined person to
Well, it
accomplish
worked.
whatever I
you,
want.
You
It
did
worked.
it, yeah. I don't know if it would be good today with the speeds of traffic and the freeways, but you know, it worked then.
The wind was so strong that I had to use second gear sometimes to pull a car downhill. It was that
Wow.
strong in Wyoming.
Okay.
And we got into Las Vegas, Nevada, and guess what? Friday afternoon, or Saturday afternoon, something, my generator stopped working in the car.
Wow.
So I could sit around for the next few days and pay motels and use up our money there, or I could attempt to go on without a generator on the car. Well, only Les Engebretson would be dumb enough to do what I do. So I said, well, I got a brand new battery in there, it's only discharging 2 amps, I probably can go quite a distance before I have a problem. So we took off with it Saturday morning,
And this is with Dottie being
with
pregnant?
pregnant Dottie,
And
and
Sharon?
18-month-old Sharon.
Okay.
Took off out of Las Vegas up to the hills, and the car blew the radiator,
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
overheated.
This
Boarding
is like
trailer.
that movie, The Long Long Trailer, with
It's almost the
Lucille Ball
same.
and Desi Arnaz.
So we got into Barstow, which is the edge of the desert, you might say,
Right.
pretty close to home. I pulled into a Plymouth
Well, it's
garage,
very
and
hot there though, so.
there were some guys sitting around the showroom floor, and I walked in, and he said, "What can I do for you, young feller?" He said, "Well, I'll tell you, I got a problem, and I just need some advice. My car's discharging 2 amps. I have a pretty new battery in the car, but it's discharging 2 amps right now, and it has been all the way since Vegas. And what I want to know is how far can I go before I run out of electricity?" They looked at each other like, "This guy's a loony." He said, "You serious?" I said, "Absolutely serious. I got plenty of gas and everything, but I don't have time to sit around for 3 days fixing a generator. So I need to get to Oceanside." So they told me we would do a quick charge on the battery, which we did, and took off from there and made it to California fine. No problem.
Wow. And the rest is history.
Pretty much.
So that baby.
So we lived in government housing, which was $30 a month, including
Oh my
electric
gosh.
utilities,
That's great.
because
Wow.
it was based on your income and I didn't have any.
Oh, I heard that, yes, that you were the only one with white walls in your military apartment, is that right?
White walls?
Yeah.
Surely that's a joke.
Oh.
We lived in what they call Gold Star homes, and they were built in a very big rush during World War II. And
Oh.
after the war, they allowed anybody who had lost a son or daughter in the war was able to live in those homes. That's why they call them Gold Star. People used to hang a gold star in their window if they lost a member of the family in the war. So they painted everything in one color. You could have any color you want as long as it was green. And there were no light switches because they didn't have time to wire electricity, they just built it. So we walk out in the middle of the kitchen and pull the string and the light goes on.
Wow.
Worked for us.
Oh my gosh.
Got us through okay.
So, and then you've lived other places too. Obviously, you moved from there, and
Yeah, what was amazing, I think, is made a determination my wife was not going to wait till she was 60 years old before she got her first house. And as I said, I'm a pretty determined person. And I decided when I want to do something, course of action. So we were all looking at houses for something to do on the weekend and found just the house we wanted. And so I bought her a brand new house when she was 24 years old while I was in college. We got turned down for the loan, of course, because they thought I'd never finish college and figured I wasn't a good risk.
so where was that house?
That's what a joke that would be, huh?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a very wise decision for them. So,
I was up in Stanton.
okay.
Later years I moved from Stanton to Anaheim, so we could stay in the area and keep Joe in the schools we wanted him in, so forth. And then years later, I knew 2 years in advance they were going to be building these homes in Newport Coast, and knew who the builder would be and so on. So we waited 2 years to get exactly what we wanted, exactly the right location. And they opened up on Saturday, we came down on Sunday, we were the first ones to buy a home on this hill here,
Oh,
this
okay.
area.
Wow, that's a very nice home.
So I wrote a check. I don't like details of mortgages and all that stuff, so I just wrote him a check for $650,000 and moved in.
Wow.
We kept the old house up in Anaheim for a couple more years.
Okay.